Hello, hello, my brothers and sisters. This is Garrett Baker, your brother in arms, and welcome to another episode of The Tactical Businessman. Today's topic, handcuffs. Oh, yes, handcuffs. So, if you're watching this on video, which some of you will at a later date, you will see what I'm doing. But if you're not and you're listening to this, tell me if you can figure out what this sound is. This, my friends, is the sound of handcuffs. And in fact, believe it or not, these are my original pair of handcuffs. They're a little rusty. I used one of those engravers to put my name and ID number. That's right, my original ID number's on here, on these things. And I honestly thought that I'd lost these. Well, I thought I'd lost them. So we just got done moving, and I'm going through all my stuff that was in the garage, like boxes and boxes of stuff. And I found these, and I was so excited that I found these, right? Because they're my original pair, like the first ones that I ever had. And like it means a lot to me, right? So as I'm going through this, the finding of my handcuffs, as I'm going through this, I realize why these mean so much to me. There's a few different reasons. These handcuffs have literally been on thousands of people. Thousands of people have put, well, they haven't put them on. I put them on them. But these have been on thousands of people over the course of my career. I think I checked at one point, but there's definitely over 2,500 people who I arrested. Think about that for a minute. That's a pretty big number. But listen, this conversation isn't about how many people I arrested. It's really not. It's about handcuffs. And I wanna share a story that I thought about when I pulled out these handcuffs. It was early on in my career, and I was working the 5 p.m. to 3 a.m. shift. That's right. You're not really swings. You're not really graves. You're just kind of in no man's land. Truth was, usually I'd start at 5 p.m. and I'd get home like 5 or 6 a.m. That's the way it worked. But anyway, so I was working the west side. I was working this 5 p.m. to 3 a.m. shift. And we got a call from a third party that was following a vehicle that was swerving in the road, i.e. they feared that the driver was impaired, drinking and driving. So show up in the area, find the car, and I pull it over. Car pulls over. I walk up to the driver, and it's a younger female driver. She rolls down the window, and I immediately smell alcohol, like she's been drinking. She smiles at me sheepishly, tries to play it off and pretend, whatever. Anyway, I already know what has to be done, right? It's a DUI investigation. So pull her out of the car, run her through the FSTs, which are the field sobriety tests, run her through them, and she fails them. So she gets the handcuffs, right? So I put the handcuffs on her and escort her to the back of my car. Now, I had to put the handcuffs on the smallest setting, the smallest ring, because her wrists were so small. Like they were super small. She was not a big girl. Put her in the back of the car, tow her car, and end up taking her down to our main station for processing. So the drive is, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes. It's not really far. We pull into the station. I pull up to the doors, get out of my car, and go to the other side to take her out of the car. Now, we don't remove the handcuffs off of anyone until we get them into this secure room for their safety, for our safety. So I go around to the other side of the car. I open up the door. She's sitting there, and she hands me the handcuffs. Literally, the same handcuffs I put on her, she hands them to me. She's like, "Do you want these?" I was like, "Are you kidding me? What do you mean, do I want these? When did you take these off?" She's like, "Well, it was really uncomfortable, so I took them off." I was like, whatever. So I end up escorting her inside, go through the process, process her for DUI. She gets her ticket and she goes on her way. But the interesting part is this. Handcuffs are not comfortable. And I'm not talking about the pink furry ones that you may use in your bedroom. Hey, I'm not here to judge. But handcuffs in and of themselves are not comfortable. They're not made to be comfortable. What are they made for? They're made to restrict movement, to restrain. That's what they're made for. And the crazy part was, this girl, because she was so small, the handcuffs didn't fit her. So she literally just took them off. Not because she was trying to be mean or rude, because I don't think she was. Not because she was some type of hardened criminal, because she wasn't. But because she simply said that they were uncomfortable. She didn't like having the handcuffs on. Now think about that for a minute. She didn't like having the handcuffs on. The truth is that each of us owns a set of handcuffs. Each of us does. And we carry it around with us every single day. The truth is also that each and every one of us spends a lot of time putting these on ourselves. We spend a lot of time doing what? Restricting our movement. Think about the last time that you did this. Now, I'm going to share an example, an experience from this week, and then we're going to see how it applies to you. So this last couple of weeks, we've been moving, right? We moved from one house to another. And if any of you have ever moved, you know the stress and chaos and whatnot that's involved in moving. Like, it's just super chaotic. There's no way around it. Whether you hire movers or not, it's just chaotic. So our last move, we hired movers, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Why? Because I didn't really have to box anything. I didn't have to load it up, and then I sure as hell didn't have to unload it. I enjoyed it. A little pricey, but I enjoyed it. The problem was that during this process of boxing and unboxing, moving, they damaged a lot of our items, which happens. So my wife is super pissed. This time around, she's like, "Hey, we're gonna do it ourselves." I was like, "Are you serious?" These are the words that are going through my mind and my mouth. I don't want to do this. I know how stressful it is. I've moved before. I know how tiring physically it is. I've moved before. So I try and convince my wife otherwise, to no avail. Moving day comes. I reserve a U-Haul, a nice 26-footer, which is the biggest one they have, by the way. And I ask them when I'm reserving it, "Hey, how many rooms can I fit in here?" "Oh, 4 rooms comfortably." I was like, "Well, I got 4 rooms, so this should work. My house isn't too big." So I get the U-Haul, and with a few friends, we started loading it up. Well, I quickly realized about an hour in that I have too much stuff, and it's all not going to fit in the back of this U-Haul. So I sent my wife down to the U-Haul place to get another U-Haul. And by the end of the night, we have filled a 26-foot U-Haul and a 20-foot U-Haul to the brim, like completely full. And I'm exhausted. She's tired. And we're just getting started. Because the house that we were moving into, we couldn't move into until Saturday. And this was Wednesday night, early Thursday morning. 2 days, Thursday, Friday, we were going to have to spend in a hotel with the U-Haul still packed. The stress of moving just went through the roof because now we're in this limbo phase, right? This space where no one likes to be in. Are we going to move? Are we not? Is it going to happen? Is it not? Are they going to steal our stuff? Are they not? There's so many unknowns. And so my wife and I, during this particular time, are really stressing each other out. Because I'm the very simplistic, like, I see things exactly how they are. Hey, here's where we're going to park the U-Hauls. Here's where we're going to stay. As soon as Saturday morning rolls around, we'll be there at 5 a.m. and we're moving in and boom, 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 boom. Like, things are just going to happen. This is how I process things. This is how I work. My wife, on the other hand, is very emotional. And so she's worried about they're going to steal our stuff. She's worried about whether we're going to be able to do it. She's worried about whether all this, the house is going to be ready. She's worried about all these things. And so she's worrying on me. I'm worrying on her. And we're getting to this place where we're really starting to get on each other's nerves. Saturday rolls around. They didn't steal any of our things, thank goodness. Although where we parked them, which happened to be a grocery store parking lot, they did request that we move the vehicles. So we had to do that. But anyway, we get there. I have some friends help me move in. We get all our stuff moved in, and I'm like, cool, we're done. No. We were done unloading the vehicles. Now we had to put together 4 beds, a couple of dressers, closets, furniture downstairs. Like it just kept going. And here we are almost a week later, still not done. But what this had done to us is it had put us in this crazy place where she wanted things done a certain way, which was slow, methodical, and purposeful. And I'm more of the, I don't need a knife to open up this box. I'm going to rip it open, and I'm going to stuff as much as I can in the closet and move on to the next box. And so we had these contradicting styles. So what ended up happening is I started to get really frustrated and angry with her. And she started to get the same way with me. Now, mind you, my wife and I have a really good relationship. Like, we've worked super hard over the last few years to get to where we are. And if you've listened to this podcast for any length of time, I've talked about, the place that we were in, me asking for divorce, me being unhappy with our relationship, me blaming everyone and everything else for why things weren't happening the way I wanted them to. So we worked super hard to get to where we're at. And here I am within 1 week, like, ready to call it quits. I wanted nothing to do with it. I wanted nothing to do with her. I wanted nothing to do with moving. I wanted nothing to do with nothing. And because I had let myself get into this mental space of anger and frustration over something that long-term I didn't think mattered, I had literally placed the handcuffs on myself. Like, I was not allowing our relationship to continue to grow. I was stunting the growth. I didn't see it that way, though. I didn't see it that way. Why? Because for so long in my life, I had put these handcuffs on myself. And so here I was subconsciously doing it again. Because foundationally, this is what happens. Men want a certain thing and women want a certain thing. Women want safety and security, i.e. they want a roof over their head, they want food, they want their kids clothed, they want a car, they want these things in life. And they also want a man by their side that they can trust, that's going to be there for them. So safety and security, this is what women want. And one of the things that my wife wants was this safety and security, right? One of them was this security that I wasn't providing for her. We didn't have a house for a couple of days. We were in limbo. The house was chaotic, not in order. And for those of you who've been married, like, you know this. You know that when the house is a mess, the house is a disaster, things aren't functioning the way they're supposed to function, your wife is what? She's angry, she's pissed off, she's frustrated. Not necessarily at you, but the situation. So because we had both had frustration towards the situation, I was taking it personally, like she was after me. Like, this wasn't going to work. And so I found myself putting these handcuffs on again. And I left for a minute to go to Home Depot to go get some wall hooks or something. I forget exactly what it was. And I see these, kid you not, I see these handcuffs sitting on the floorboard of the passenger seat. I see these. And it like hit me in the face. I'm like, you are a complete moron. And I'm sitting there pissed off at myself because now I'm seeing exactly what's going on. I put myself in this situation. I put myself in this situation where my wife is pissed off. I put myself in this situation where I was pissed off. I put myself in this situation where instead of understanding the big picture, I was too busy trying to get things my way. Big picture, the quicker that I can help my wife get her house in order, the quicker our relationship is going to get back to where it needs to be. Her supporting me supporting her, and ultimately getting what I want, which is sex. Yeah, that's right. I said it. And you men out there, quit denying it. Like, you're not married to be celibate. You're married because you love her, but also because of the intimate relationship that you guys have. So what it came down to was me putting on the handcuffs, putting them on myself. And as soon as I realized this, my actions started to change. And I started to support her in what it was that she wanted, which is getting this house in order. And guess what happened? Guess what happened when I started to do that? Oh, amazingly enough, our relationship got back to where it needed to be, and I got exactly what it was that I wanted. Yes, sex. So ask yourself right now in your life, where is it that you're putting these handcuffs on? It could be in your personal relationship. It could be in your business. It could be with your body. But at some point in your life right now, you are putting these handcuffs on yourself. Here's the crazy part. You also have the key, meaning you can take these off whenever you want. So I challenge you this week to find that place where you're putting these handcuffs on. Identify it, and then pull out the key and take them off. Because you don't need to be wearing these. They're not for you. They are not for you. So how do we get what we want out of life? We start to become aware of these situations. We start to become aware of instances when we're putting these handcuffs on ourselves. And then we take them off. And we stop the actions that are taking us down the path that we don't want to go on. Because they're uncomfortable, because they hurt. And ultimately, we don't want them there anyway. All right, that is it for today's show. I appreciate you guys listening. As always, thank you. If you have time, I would actually appreciate if you went to the Apple Podcast site and left me a review. I'd like 5-star reviews a lot. And then tell me what this podcast has done for you, how it's helped you in your life, how it's helped you shift, how it's helped you grow, how it's helped your relationship, how it's helped your business. I want to hear back from you because ultimately that's the reason that I'm doing this. It's not for me, it's for you to be able to help you get what you want out of life. All right, that is it for today. As always, stay safe, and we'll see you on the next one.